use of AI. We have Gemini already implemented here, so you can use it to take notes. So it's a lot easier for you after the meeting. You can always go back to it, whatever you don't understand or you were not able to pick correctly during the meeting. And I really appreciate that you guys, engage. So right about now, I'll be sharing my screen so that we can officially welcome the powerful Chinwendu Ogbonna. I'm sure she didn't see this coming, so yeah, it's fine. All right. Okay. Okay, let me confirm from here if nobody's speaking.
Coming on stage now is a certified human resource professional with over 6 years of experience in talent acquisition and talent management. Passionate about helping graduate and early career professionals become workplace ready, she is committed to bridging the gap between academic learning and workplace expectations. With practical experience in recruitment and across various HR functions, she is dedicated to equipping individuals with the skills and the confidence needed to succeed in today's workplace. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome Chinwendu Ogbonna.
All right, so you have the floor, Chinwendu.
All right, thank you very much, Shegun. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Joining in. And thank you very much for having me. I'll try not to take much of our time. I see the rainy Saturday. But please, I want the sessions to be interactive as well. So please, when I ask questions and ask you, please drop comments in the chat session. Try and drop comments in the chat session. All right, so I'm going to be sharing my screen, my slide deck. At this point, please, I need me to turn off my camera just to manage the internet bandwidth, please. All right, please give me a few seconds to share my screen. And please, if at any point that you cannot hear me, please unmute and just call my attention to it. Because when my slide is being shared, I might not be able to see what's going on in the background. Maybe for some reason, if network interrupts, please unmute and let me know. All right, please, can you confirm me that you can see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you very much. So today we're talking about job readiness and interview mastery, building skills for career success. Okay, and this is what we're going to cover today. We'll start out with an introduction, after which we'll talk about what it means to be job ready. And then we'll talk about some of the challenges that are usually being faced with respect to, breaking into the job market and starting out a career and, getting job opportunities. And we'll talk about some practical strategies for success, which includes having a proper CV, how to prepare for interviews, what to expect, and all of that. And then we'll wrap it up. All right. So please, before we begin, right? I just want us to do something. So in one word, I just want you to please describe how you currently feel about your job search or your career journey. And it can be any word ranging from optimistic, happy, tired, confused. It can just be any word, inspired, not currently searching. Just in the chat box, please just help me type in one word. Okay, someone says optimistic. Okay, I'm looking forward to more responses. Just how do you currently feel about your job search, is for how your career journey, you're an early career starter. How do you find it feel? Are you confused? Are you tired? Are you happy? Are you optimistic? Are you inspired? I don't know. Very okay, optimistic. Okay. Oh, all right. So I'm just saying optimistic. You can be any other word, though. It doesn't have to just be optimistic. Oh, it can be any other word. Uh-uh. Okay. So true responses. So if I'm looking forward to more responses. So if you're currently working, just also describe in one word how your career journey is going. Because I'm still looking forward to more responses. So I said it's going to be an interactive session. Inspired for okay, that's nice. Oh. Inspired. Are you for job searching at the moment? Okay. All right, so two more responses and then I'll start out. Um, inspired. Oh, optimistic. Wow. All right, so that's fine. So in the interest of time, I will just okay, someone said not where I want to, but I'm currently still uh trying all right, so for those who have responded, thank you very much. Please, if you still have more responses, you can keep it coming. Okay. All right, so just to start out, so it is said that many graduates struggle to secure employment after university. And it's not because they lack intelligence, because there's often a gap between academic learning and workplace readiness. Right, so at this point, I think I'll just start out by sharing my career journey, my career story, how I broke into the job market, as someone without experience, and as someone who didn't have any offer waiting for me, but didn't really have anybody waiting for me. Didn't really have network and all of that. So I didn't have any job waiting for me and all of that. All right, so I studied sociology as an undergraduate, as my undergraduate, and honestly, during my undergraduate degree, I really didn't know anything about being employable, what it meant to start building skills in preparation for the workplace environment. I didn't know anything about that. I was just focused on getting a good degree, graduating with a 2-1 or a first class. Our parents always hammering, okay, make sure you graduate with 2-1 or first class and all of that. Right. And yes, I did graduate with a 2-1. Now, after my graduation, after my NYC and all that, I started searching for jobs. With all those CVs that contains irrelevant information, contains your date of birth, your local government, your first school living certificate, all those relevant information taking up half the space of your CV. And I was looking for jobs, and honestly, I didn't get any. I wasn't getting any offers. I didn't know what I was doing wrong, honestly. And then, okay, I decided that, okay, I was going to do a master's. And then I carried out a research on what I wanted to do as my master's with a sociology degree as background. And I came across human resources management, and it piqued my interest. I liked it. It really piqued my interest. And I went, did my master's. And it was even during my master's, I began to understand what it meant to be employable, what it meant to, start developing skills that employers look out for in the work environment. And then after my master's, I got back. At least I had some bit of knowledge on what I was doing wrong initially. I updated my CV and I kept on applying for jobs. I wasn't getting any offer. But this time around, the issue was that I didn't have experience, right? And most of the vacancies I came across, they needed experience. Even for entry-level positions, they needed at least 1 year experience, at least some form of internship, and I didn't have any form of experience. And I said, okay, I'm going to change my strategy. I'm going to start looking for volunteering opportunities or internships just to close that gap on my CV. Because honestly, I didn't have experience, I didn't have any. And then I used to live in Port Harcourt. And then I came up with a list of companies that said I was going to reach out to. Most of the companies were just in Lagos. So I came up with a list of HR outsourcing firms. Almost all of them were just in Lagos. And then I'll go to their website to get their contact information and get their generic email. I'll send emails. Of course, I didn't get any response. Some I called to find out if they take volunteers in the organization. I don't mind. I was looking to just gain some experience. Did you take volunteers? Or most of them said they don't take volunteers. They didn't have any opportunity at all. So also remember that I had a program to attend in Lagos. So remember I said that most of the organizations I came across were just in Lagos. And then I used the opportunity to move from Port Harcourt to Lagos. So luckily, I also had somewhere to stay in Lagos. And then I kept on searching for jobs. So at this point, I was going to become very frustrated. And then I said I was going to start visiting companies physically. And this was before COVID, I think 2019. I said I was going to start visiting companies physically, maybe to just meet the hiring manager and tell them that, please, let me work for you for free. I don't mind, you don't have to pay me. Let me just close this experience gap that they're always looking for experience. And then I made a list of companies. I visited some. For most of them, their security did not let me get past the gates, actually, for security reasons. They said I need to book an appointment and all of that. And then if you actually let me see their HR manager, but then most of the response I was getting is when there's an opportunity, we'll let you know. It's an opportunity to let you know. All right. So I visited one company, was a HR outsourcing firm and HR consulting firm rather, and there was an opportunity to meet a member of their HR department. And then I asked her, please, does your company take volunteers or is there opportunity for me to intern in your company? And then she said that they just had one slot and then she was one they employed. But then she was nice enough to refer me to one apprenticeship program, one HR apprenticeship program where they will train you and then they will put you in placement. They'll look for internship companies for you where you can intern. It wasn't free, it was a paid program. And then luckily it was coming up the week after. She gave me the information. I was desperate. I registered. I attended the program. I think it was about 2 to 3 months. After the program, all right, time to put us in placements, time to look for companies that we can intern. Because one excuse or the other. They're saying, oh, the companies are not responding, one thing or the other. Then I moved on. I kept on job searching. I kept on applying for jobs and looking for entry-level position, volunteering. I remember my first interview invite for was a HR intern with a consulting company. So I remember the day before the interview, I was excited and I was really anxious at the same time, very excited and anxious. And I started cramming. I started cramming common interview questions. In fact, cramming responses from Google and all of that. And then on the day of the interview, when I got to the location, there was just a lot of people. There were not less than 20 people. And honestly, I became more anxious. Then it got to my time. They called me into the room. They asked me questions. I blabbed. I didn't even know. So for some questions, I had a brain freeze. I rambled. I blabbed. In fact, I just knew I didn't do well. When I left, I think I even cried when I got to the bus stop. I knew I didn't do well. Of course, they did not get back in touch with me. I kept on applying. I remember my second interview invite. So one of the companies I visited, they sent my CV to a HR outsourcing firm. So the company called me for an interview. It was also an entry-level position, HR internship. And then I got there. I met the owner of the HR outsourcing firm. We got talking. He asked me some questions. I thought it went well. We flowed. It was more of like a conversation. I actually thought it went well. After the whole interview, he asked his PA to introduce me to the members of the team, that they would send me my offer letter later. I was excited. I was really, in my mind, I was so excited. I couldn't believe that after everything, my effort had paid off. I went home. In fact, that night, I couldn't even really sleep. I was so joyous. I was so happy. All right, so I was waiting for the offer letter that night. Okay, no, the next day, I didn't send any letter. I didn't come in. I said, okay, maybe still one day. I just attended the interview yesterday. Let me just hold on. And then the next day, I did not see anything. There was no letter. I was refreshing my inbox. There was nothing. At this point, I was getting uncomfortable. I was like, okay, should I reach out to the company or not? Or should I just hold on? Second day, third day, nothing. Then on the fifth day, the email finally dropped that they were no longer moving on my candidacy. That I was a good candidate, but unfortunately, they're moving on with more stable candidates. You can imagine how I felt. I felt so bad. I felt really, really bad. Really, 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 really bad. And then, but with time, I got over it and I still moved on. So I remember there was a company I applied to. The company didn't get back in touch with me. It was for a HR internship position. The company didn't get back in touch with me actually. But the same company was carrying out a training. And then they were trying to sell the training to, candidates. And then they called me and told me about the training. It was a training on, I think, CV writing and all of that. I really didn't need the training, honestly. But I said I was going to pay and I'll use the opportunity to talk to the owner of the consulting firm, see if I can volunteer. So I attended the training, and during the training, I tried to stay active. And I tried to at least be noticeable. And after the training, I was bold enough. I spoke to the owner of the consulting firm. It was a small, mid-sized consulting firm. And then she said that she actually agreed. She booked an appointment with me for the next week. I came, she gave me my offer letter. And then 3 months down the line, one of the facilitators of the apprenticeship program that I attended earlier on called me about an entry-level position in one company like that, and asked me if I was interested. Yes, I went through the interview stage, and then I got hired. And that was how I broke into the job market. Right. Now the reason why I share this story is that when it comes to the frustration with regard to breaking into the job market, respect if you don't have experience or you don't have anyone, I can understand. I've been there. I can understand 100%. Right. All right. So moving on. Please confirm you can still hear me. So just be sure I'm not talking to myself. You can just unmute and say yes. You can hear me, please.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
anyone
Yes, we
still hear
can
me?
hear you.
All right.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, it's said that many graduates struggle to secure employment after university, not because they lack intelligence, but because there's often a gap between academic learning and workplace readiness. Now, before we get into job readiness, there are three mindsets I want us to get rid of. If you are someone that has this mindset, I really just want you to get rid of this mindset. So I often hear people say that there are no jobs. There are no jobs, or there are no jobs. It's not true, there are jobs. There are a lot of jobs. You just don't have access to these jobs. And maybe you don't have the right skills, but there are jobs. So that mindset might be limiting you. And the second thing I also hear people say is, oh, you need connection to get a job, or you need connection. You need to know somebody, right? And this kind of discourages people from, applying to a certain type of organization. While I do agree that your referral is a good way and quick way to get job opportunities, to get access to job opportunities. Please, companies employ candidates on merit on a daily basis. Your big fours, your Fortune 500 companies, there are a lot of companies that you don't need to know anyone in the organization before you get a job. As long as you successfully go through their recruitment stage, right, you can be hired. So you don't really need to know anybody. Yes, it's good to build your network and all of that, but if you come across a job vacancy that you feel like you meet the requirements for a company, maybe a big organization, and at the back of your mind, you're like, oh, these people would have already employed somebody. It's not true. Please just apply. Don't chicken out, apply. And then the third one I'd like us to understand is that your BSc, your degree is no longer enough. The fact that you graduated with a 2-1 first class is no longer enough, because companies are looking beyond what you graduated from school. A lot of other people also graduated with first class and so on. So what makes you different, right? So it's no longer about it's important that you graduate with a good degree, but it's no longer just about that. All right. So another thing I'd like to advise is that please, if try to have some clarity on what career you want to pursue, right? After graduation, and let's say if you want to pursue a career on what you studied as your undergraduate degree, that's fine. If you studied accounting and then you want to pursue a career in accounting, that's fine. Study engineering, you want to pursue a career in engineering, that's fine. If you don't want to pursue a career in engineering and you want to switch to something else, you can carry out your research, know what the job market is looking out for, know what the skills that are relevant, know what interests you. Carry out your research and have that clarity, such that today you're not doing customer service, tomorrow you're not doing accounting, next tomorrow you're not doing data analytics. So when you just have that clarity, it's actually quite easier. It's just have that clarity on what you want to do after you graduate, what career you want to pursue. It's really important. Now that aside, now what does it mean to be job ready? Like I've said, job readiness goes beyond academic qualification. The truth is that today employers are looking for people who can come in and add value and adapt to the work environment quickly. Right? Companies want to achieve results, they want to meet their goals. So they're looking for candidates that can come in with a solid foundation and they can begin to contribute as soon as possible. Now, in simple terms, job readiness means having the knowledge, skills, attitudes, behaviors needed to get a job, keep a job, do well in a job. And when it comes to entry-level positions, companies understand that, or hiring managers understand that there will be a learning curve because you don't have experience. They understand that, but they don't want the learning curve to be that high in the sense that they have spent a lot of resources to train you and they have spent a lot of time to train you because they also want to meet their goal, they want to make profit, they want to make money. And even in some situations, so after this company is finished training you, another company will not come and poach you and employ you. So there's a lot of risk involved. Right. So now, like I said, job readiness means having the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behavior needed to one, get a job, keep a job, and do well in the job. And then there are some key things that form the foundation of job readiness, and they include your technical skills, your soft skills, your digital skills. Now let's start with technical skills. Your technical skills are basically practical skills that are required to carry out a specific role. And when it comes to technical skills for entry-level positions, employers don't expect that you know everything. Don't expect that, yes, you know everything. However, they do expect that you are able to demonstrate basic understanding of the technical skills that are relevant to the particular role that you are pursuing. They want to see some evidence that you've taken the steps to learn the fundamentals, right? And then you can now build up on that knowledge with training and experience. And I'll give an example. I put 3 positions here as an example. Let's say you're interviewing for accounting, an entry-level accounting, an accounting intern, and all of that. Why you might not be expected to be an expert, but at least you're supposed to have an understanding on basic Excel proficiency, at least at basic level, right? Basic to intermediate level. Also, you're supposed to understand maybe how to write a financial statement, prepare a financial statement at basic level, understand bookkeeping, reconciliation, and all of that. The same applies for an IT support, a project management role, right? If you're applying for an IT support entry level role, at least you should understand basic troubleshooting, at least understand, have knowledge on hardware and software, networking basics, basic help desk practices. The same thing for project management, or you might not have led a project, or even doing, if, for example, in your undergraduate degree, you led a group project, you were a leader of a group project, that can also somehow count as experience. If you don't have experience and you're looking to close the experience gap on your CV. All right. So they don't expect that you know everything. Do you know Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint? Do you know how to track tasks? With project management, there's a lot of task tracking. Do you understand concepts like agile, waterfall methodologies? So do you understand just at basic level? Now, I just want you to just think, if you apply for your target role today, what technical skill would employers expect you to already have? That's for you to answer, right? So just think about it. There's a role that you're pursuing, and then you're looking to break into the job market. What are the technical skills that you think that employers would expect you to already know? Okay, I'll leave that to you. Now, the next are soft skills. Now, soft skills are actually very, very important. Soft skills are attitudes and people skills that help you work well with others and succeed in the work environment. Now, many companies can train for, they say they can train for technical skills, but soft skills are harder to teach. So that's why it's important. That's why you hear hiring managers say that they rather prioritize attitude when hiring. Let's say, for instance, you have 2 candidates. One is 100% technically sound, but have shady attitude. And then the other person, maybe 60% technically sound, but they have positive attitude. And there's a way that recruiters can check your attitudes even during interviews, right? And that's why also they require background checks. You always find out that the hiring manager will go for the one with the 60% technical sound person with the right attitude than the one that has, technical, 100% technical proficiency. So soft skills are really important. And so these are things that compromise your soft skills, your communication skills, your professional attitude, positive attitude and drive, teamwork and collaboration, problem solving. And when it comes to communication skills, yes, there's verbal, there's non-verbal communication, right? So do you speak clearly? Do you write clearly? Are you able to draft a professional email? Now, communication is not only about speaking, it's also about listening actively, listening actively and understanding as well. And it can also affect productivity. Now, imagine your line manager gives you an instruction and then you misunderstand your line manager because you're not listening actively, right? So good communication skills is really, really important. And then the next is your professional attitude. Your professional attitude simply speaks to how you approach work and responsibilities. So do you dress well? How do you dress? Do you dress well? Are you punctual? Are you able to relate with your team members properly? Do you watch your language when relating with your team members? Are you reliable? Are you accountable? Let me give an instance. If you're being invited for an interview, you're scheduled for an interview, and and then you cannot make it for whatever reason, do you ghost the interviewer, or do you send an email apologizing to the interviewer and asking for a reschedule? So those things actually show that you lack professionalism. If you cannot make it, send an email to the interviewer. Please, I can't make it for so and so time. Can we please reschedule? Also, if your interview is by 9 a.m., so do you try to join in by 9:05 a.m. or 9:01 a.m.? So those sort of things speak to your professional attitude. And then positive attitude and drive. And this is also very important. So I spoke briefly earlier on attitude, having a positive attitude. Now, the truth is, organizations will not want to hire people that they perceive might be difficult to work with. Right? Nobody wants to work with a difficult person. People want to work with people that are easy to work with. Right. So as a hiring manager, there are things that you would expect from someone that's coming into your team. Is the person teachable? Is the person willing to take feedback? Does the person demonstrate willingness to learn? Is the person easy to work with? Is the person respectful? Is the person tenacious? Do you understand? So these things are really important. Then obviously teamwork and collaboration. Are you able to work well in teams? Right? Are you able to collaborate effectively? Let's say you have a different opinion with one of your team members. You guys don't share the same opinion. So how do you go about it? Does it now lead to conflict? How are you able to manage this conflict? So teamwork is really important. And then problem solving as well. So employers don't want people that can only identify problems. They want people that can think about solutions and not just looking for problems. And there are ways for each of these soft skills. There are ways that companies evaluate candidates. For some companies, you might be required to take a psychometric test as part of their hiring process, as part of their recruitment process. And the psychometric test, they're testing your problem solving abilities, they're testing your analytical skills. For some companies, you might be required to carry out a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation on a topic, maybe as part of maybe the final stage of their interview process. With that, they are testing your digital skills, they are testing your communication skills, they are testing your professional aptitude. For some other companies, they just have multiple level interviews where they are testing your communication skills, they're testing your mannerisms and all of that. So please, the soft skills are very important as well. And then the next is technical. Sorry, I don't know my slides now. So the next is your digital skills. So digital skills are becoming increasingly important as well in today's work environment, because now we live and work in the digital world. So yes, so basic digital skills are no longer optional. They're becoming very essential. So at least know how to use virtual meeting tools, know how to use Zoom, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams. You'll be very surprised that we think these things are basic things and they're very easy to use. And sometimes that maybe we'll invite candidates for an interview, ask the time candidates, okay, please unmute your microphone. They're looking for how to unmute their microphone. Please, maybe they're supposed to give a presentation through Microsoft Teams or through Google Meet and all of that. Please, can you project your presentation in presentation mode? It's a struggle because you have to start directing them on how to do it. So you think that these things are basic things, right? But please, just know how to, your Microsoft Office tools, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, please know how to use PowerPoint. If you're in a career path where there's going to be a lot of presentations expected, please learn PowerPoint. So if you're in a career path where there's a lot of numbers, you're dealing with a lot of numbers, please go and learn Excel. Then Word, everybody needs to know how to use Word, right? And then basic AI tools. So these days it's non-negotiable. A lot of companies are have that expectation from candidates. Do you know how to use basic tools? At least at basic level, ChatGPT. These things have come to stay. And then cloud and storage facilities. Yeah, so your digital skills are really, really important these days. All right, now let's talk about why graduates struggle to land the job. What are some of the challenges that, please, can you please still hear me? Please, just to confirm, can anyone still hear me? Can you guys still hear me, please?
Yes,
we can hear you.
You can unmute.
Loud and clear.
All right. Let's talk about some of the challenges that are usually being faced with respect to landing job opportunities. Now, the first is the experience paradox. Now, this one is one of the biggest frustration. This is one of the biggest challenge when it comes to landing job opportunities, because, like I said, a lot of entry-level positions now, they require some form of experience, even if it's 1 year experience, even if it's previous internship. And now the paradox is such that, okay, these companies want me to have experience before getting a job, but I need a job to get experience. So it's really frustrating. And these are things like volunteering, internships can come in to close the gap. And the next is your CV. Right. Now, your CV is the first impression a recruiter has about you, right? And the truth is, a weak CV can make a strong candidate look unqualified. It's really, really important. There was a time that I was looking to change jobs, and I kept on applying, and I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't really getting any. If I wasn't even being invited for interviews, at least invite me for interview, let me shortlist me, let me know that I didn't do well. I was looking to change jobs, and I kept on applying, and then I spoke to a senior colleague, and colleague said I should send her my CV. I sent her my CV. She reviewed it, and honestly, when she reverted with reviewed version, I was like, oh wow, I could really see why. And when I started using that new thing to apply for a job, believe me, for like, if I apply for 10 jobs, of course I will make sure that I miss most of the requirements. I usually get shortlisted for at least 6 out of the 10 jobs. So your CV is really, really important. Really, really, really important. It's the first impression a recruiter has about you. Now, another one is the spray and pray approach. And this is one of the frustration. This one is very frustrating for recruiters and hiring managers. This is where, as a candidate, you use one CV and apply for maybe 20 jobs that you don't meet the requirements, jobs that you don't qualify for. Let's say there's an opening for a chief finance officer and you only have teaching experience, you apply. The company is looking for someone with 10 years experience, and then you don't have any experience, or you have just 2 years experience, and then you apply. You just apply randomly to jobs, hoping and praying that one will favor you. Honestly, the fact that you spend time, you can apply for 20, 50 jobs in a day, but you end up wasting your time, right? And then you're praying for favor, you're praying that God favors you. Even God will not answer that type of prayer, because God knows that you cannot do the job. You don't meet the requirement. You will struggle. You can't do the job, right? So that's that for the spray and pray approach. Now, skills mismatch is another challenge that graduates face with respect to breaking into the job market. The truth is that there's a growing gap between what we learn in school and what employers need in the work environment. So many university courses, they focus more on theory and classroom learning, while employers are looking for practical skills, they're looking for real-world experience. I'll give an example. Someone can graduate with a degree in marketing, but that same person that has a degree in marketing will not know how to use tools like Google Analytics, Meta Ads. The person does not know how to use email marketing platform. So yeah, there's that mismatch in that regard. So usually our course curriculum in school just focuses on theory, while employers are looking for people that can, come in and contribute quickly. And a limited network. This one is also very important. So your network can sometimes open doors that your CVs cannot, right? A lot of opportunities, they are not publicly advertised. And the reason why networking is important is because people are more likely to recommend people that they know and people that they trust. There's some companies that even have what we call employee referral programs, where they pay their employees to refer people in their network for openings within the organization. Let's say there's a job vacancy. So the company, if as an employee you're able to refer somebody within your network and the person successfully goes through the interview stage and get hired, you get a reward. So that's how network is really important. And then location barrier. This one. When I was sharing my story earlier on, I said I had to move from Port Harcourt to Lagos because most of the companies I came across, they were just based in Lagos or Abuja. I understand that you might not really have that opportunity, but the truth is that there are cities that have a lot more opportunities than other cities. So if you are able to. And this is the reason why Lagos is really crowded. This is the reason why Lagos, because there are a lot of opportunities in Lagos. That's why Lagos is crowded, and I understand. So your location can also be a barrier, right? Even so, there are some job openings that, let's say, they are on the island, even in Lagos, on the island, and you live on the mainland, and you might prioritize someone that stays on the island than you. So yes, that can be a barrier as well. And then poor interview preparation. So we're going to talk about CV preparation and interview preparation in the coming slides. I just don't want to go ahead of myself. All right, so now let's talk about some practical strategies for success. If you have a gap on your CV, you don't have experience, there's a way you can build experience and demonstrate it on your CV. Experience does not always have to come from paid full-time job. You can build experience by applying for internship positions, looking for volunteering opportunities. Also, take advantage of your NYSC. Use your service year strategically to gain practical skills. I feel like NYSC is one of the most utilized opportunities, underutilized opportunities rather, that graduates have, right? Take advantage of your NYSC. Freelancing as well. If you're a writer, you can freelance. If you're, graphic designer or whatever, freelancing is a way to also build experience. Now, if you also held position in school, maybe you were the secretary in your department, or if you're the president of a club or whatever, there's a way that can be tailored on your CV actually to close the experience gap. Now, I understand that when it comes to looking for internship and volunteering opportunities, it's not as easy as it seems, right? It's really not as easy as it seems. Now, but one mistake I often find is that people usually target bigger organizations and looking for internship and volunteering. People target big organizations. Truth is that you're more likely going to get a response from smaller or mid-sized companies than bigger organizations, because for all those big organizations, the process is a whole lot more complex. Decision making takes a lot of time. Approval doesn't sit in one person, right? So just target smaller and mid-sized companies. You can reach out to a founder on LinkedIn. Reach out to someone. Come up with a list of companies. Reach out to look. By now, I expect everybody should be on LinkedIn. Reach out to the maybe the CEO, maybe I don't know, someone with a high position on LinkedIn. Tell the person, please, man, I have so and so skills. I'm graduate on so and so. Because I'm looking to volunteer. Please tell them what you can also offer, not just the fact what you're willing to gain, what you can also offer. You might not get a response from the first person. You might not get a response from the second person. You might reach out to 10 people and you don't get a response. So please don't give up. You have to be dogged. You have to be tenacious, right? So please don't give up. And then develop in-demand skills. Now, what are the technical skills that are relevant to the career you're looking to grow in? Carry out your research. I understand that trainings are expensive. However, you can use Allison. There are free courses you can take on Allison, LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, YouTube. There are free courses that you can take. Look out for the practical skills, the technical skills that are relevant to the role. Go and take these courses and then put them on your CV. The good thing about these courses is that they expose you to the practical aspect of the job, such that even in an interview, when you're being asked, even though you don't have experience, you can say something about it. So yes, these courses, look out for them, technical courses, and then please take the courses on analysis. If you don't have money for like a professional training and all of that, take them and then put them on your CV. When I'm shortlisting when I come across 2 CVs for an entry-level position, right? Maybe a graduate trainee role, and they don't have experience. So we don't really expect graduate trainees to have experience because they're coming to learn. And then I go to the experience session and I see that one person has taken the time to take courses that are relevant to that role. I'm more likely to shortlist that person because it shows me that you are enthusiastic about the position. It just shows that enthusiasm, such that when you come in, you're going to be able to learn fast. Not that you come in and then you get bored and all of that. And then finding opportunities. Now, how do you find opportunities? And when it comes to finding opportunities, so I expect that everybody has to be on LinkedIn. Please, you have to be on LinkedIn, but not on LinkedIn. Now, one advice I'll give is that on LinkedIn, follow companies that interest you, right? what usually happens is that those companies, when they put out their job ad, they usually put it on their page. And then you're able to come across job vacancies. So for companies that are interested, just follow them on LinkedIn. So you see contents that come out from their company. They're looking for, maybe there is whatever, there's an opening, entry-level opening or whatever. So you're able to have that information and you can apply. And then professional WhatsApp group as well, webinars, career fairs. I was wanting to advise, if your career path has a professional body governing it. I'm going to use my own career. For example, let me take, for example, I'm HR and then we have CIPM. There's going to be the foundation class. Please join, enroll, right? Enroll, start. And if you can attend physical, please advise that attend physical, don't join virtual. So what happens is that when you start, you meet people in similar field. And then you can now ask them, please, are you on any professional WhatsApp group? Or are you on any job WhatsApp group that you can, add me to? I've done that before. So that way you can get information. Because a lot of opportunities are posted on WhatsApp groups. In fact, I stay updated in my career path. One of the ways I really stay updated in my career path is by my WhatsApp group. I get updates on WhatsApp groups. The opportunities are really posted on WhatsApp groups, webinars, information that are posted on WhatsApp groups as well. So as well, also join webinars. Most of information on webinars are posted on LinkedIn. So please join. And then career fairs, please join. Go for these career fairs. You will meet people as well. You meet people, ask people questions too. There are consulting companies that carry out career fairs. I come across a lot of them on LinkedIn. I think I forgot the name of the consulting company. But just come on LinkedIn and then you have access to this information. Because I know one of the barriers is, how do I get access to these information? And then you need to have a strong CV and you need to be able to apply properly. We are going to talk about CV in subsequent slides. So let me just keep that one first. Then tailor your applications. I've talked a bit about tailoring your application. Now, if you come across a job vacancy, right, and usually a job vacancy would have the job description and the job requirements. You go and look at the job description and job requirements. Now, do you fit the criteria? You don't have to meet 100% the requirements. Do you fit at least 60% of the requirements, at least? And then, if you have a CV, tailor your CV to that. Let me give an example. I'm a hiring manager. I'm looking to employ a software engineer. You don't have any form of experience in software engineering. Even if I'm looking to employ an entry-level software engineer, all you've done is teaching. You've not taken any course. You've not done anything in that regard. And then you send your CV. It's really frustrating for the recruiter. You will not be shortlisted because you cannot do the job. Tell me why I'm looking to hire a CFO, Chief Finance Officer, and the only thing you've done is customer service. That's on your CV. I only see customer service. How can you fit? You can't do the job. So please apply to roles that you fit. Or let's say you have a dual career path. You're taking chances. Maybe you have a job now that's just putting food on your table, but you're still looking to build a career in some other aspect, right? So even if you have a CV that speaks to that position you're looking to, build a career in, we'll talk about CV writing and talk about how to tailor your application. So you're not just sending generic applications. Like I said before, you can send 20 applications, but you're wasting your time. The fact that you apply more does not increase your chances of being shortlisted. So please tailor your job applications. Apply to where you fit. Don't tell me I'm looking to employ an accountant, or even if you want your experience and you've not done anything in that regard. You didn't even graduate with an accounting degree. All you have is maybe you are a data analyst. Okay, data analyst can even still fit himself with accounting. I don't know, but just apply to where you fit. And then interview mastery. Talk about interview in subsequent slides. And then view your network. We've talked about that. I've spoken a bit about that. Come on LinkedIn. Follow thought leaders on LinkedIn with respect to, your career. Maybe, for example, I'm in HR. There are thought leaders in HR. People that when they put out content, that they influence the workspace. This sort of people, follow those sort of people. Follow people and then engage in their content as well. Don't just be idle. Engage in their content. And this is just some of the ways that still practical ways that you can build a professional learning. Please optimize your LinkedIn. I need to have a professional photo, compelling headline, video summary. Just make sure your LinkedIn profile is okay at least. Attend events and opportunities. We talked about that. Attend career fairs, attend industry webinars, virtual conferences, professional development workshops like this one. Please attend. And then join communities. Join communities. A lot of information come out from communities. On a WhatsApp group, you can see something like, oh, I'm looking to, please, if you have candidates, I'm looking to employ an NYC candidate. If you have an opening in my organization, please, if you have people you can refer, please refer. Those kind of opportunities are really, really posted on WhatsApp groups. So please, when you meet people at these events, ask them, please, are you on any WhatsApp group that I can join? What professional WhatsApp groups are really, really underrated. A lot of information really are posted on WhatsApp groups. And then if your alumni, if your school has an alumni association, please also join. You don't know where you meet your helper. Please join. Join Telegram groups as well, job groups. Like I said before, if your profession has a body governing that career path, maybe CIPM, ICANN, please start with the foundation class, join. A lot of opportunities are also shared those sort of environments as well. All right, so let's talk about CV writing. So like I said before, your CV is really important. Please, just to confirm, can everyone hear me? Please, just be sure I'm not speaking to myself. Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on in the chat session.
Yes, we can hear you.
If you can hear me, please unmute and just like, all right.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so your CV. This is an example of what a structured CV should look like. Even for an entry-level position, this is an example how to structure your CV. Your CV needs to have a header, your name, your location. No, it doesn't have to be your full address. Please, you can just put maybe Gwarimpa, Abuja, Surulere, Lagos State. It doesn't really have to be your full address. Your phone number, your email, your LinkedIn URL. That's optional, but it's really important that if you have, it's still important that you include it in your CV. And now professional summary. Professional summary is really, 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 really important, right? And it's because it gives a recruiter an overview of who you are, your skills, your strengths, your career goals. It is a very good way to create a strong first impression, right? And employers spend very few seconds looking at your CV, and the content of your CV are not relevant to the job role. They'll just move on to the next CV, right? So please, a professional summary is a way to grab the attention of the recruiter. I'll show an example of how to structure a weak and a strong professional summary. So please, also avoid vague professional summaries. We'll talk about that in the next slide. And then there should be a skill session after your professional summary. This is another thing that catches the attention of the recruiter. Your skills session. Now, list out technical skills that are relevant to that position. Now, you might not have practical experience, but at least list out skills that such that you can be able to talk about them. This is why I said take courses on Allison, take free courses that speak to that. Now, list out the technical skills that are relevant to that job role. Now, even if you're applying using an ATS software, even if it's not a human being that's shortlisting CVs for that position. So for the ATS looks out for, and ATS is an applicant tracking system. The ATS looks out for specific keywords, right? And if those keywords are, if the ATS finds those keywords on your CV, you're more likely to get shortlisted for an interview. Honestly, please, the skill session, professional summary are really important as well. And then your experience. Now, one of the challenges with respect to entry-level candidates is that they don't really have, there's like a gap with respect to experience. They don't know what to put on their CV when it comes to experience, but we'll talk about that in subsequent slide. And then you can now put your education, you can put your training and certification. Now, either your experience can come before your education can come before your experience. It doesn't really matter. There's someone who doesn't really have experience at all. It's important, maybe your education should come first, your experience in HR. But if you have experience, then your experience should come before education. Now, honestly, things that stand out here, the professional summary is important, skills. Please, for the skill session, don't put teamwork, communication skills. Anybody can just put those on the CV. Don't put all those generic skills. List out the hard skills that are relevant to the that role, right? For example, we give an example of accounting, financial statement preparation, Excel proficiency, things like that. So those are things that will stand you out. Please also, when it comes to your CV, please make sure that the contents of your CV, you can defend the contents of your CV. It's easy to ask even ChatGPT or AI to help you review your CV, but make sure that you can really defend whatever it is that is on your CV. It's really important because when you go into an interview and they ask you a question on your CV and you cannot really say now, it's a red flag, it's already a red flag. Right. And this is just an example of a weak professional summary and a strong professional summary. So like I said, avoid bland professional summaries. What is generic professional summaries? And I give an example. Let's say you're applying to an accounting job opening. So you will see, if I see a professional summary like, oh, I'm a recent accounting graduate looking for a job, I'm hardworking, I'm dedicated, I'm a fast learner, I work well in teams, I'm independent. It's really bland. It just focuses on, oh, what you're looking to get from the company. A better and a stronger example would be, I'm a recent accounting graduate with knowledge of financial principles, bookkeeping, and Microsoft Excel, and experience in academic projects and team collaboration with strong analytic and organizational skills. The difference is that the first one is vague. It doesn't demonstrate value that you're adding to the organization, but the second one demonstrates the value that you're looking to add in the organization. Now, this is really important because if your professional summary is strong, the reader will spend more time looking at your CV, and then you stand a higher chance of being shortlisted. Another bland example, I'm seeking a job in accounting where I can learn and grow and contribute to the organization. That's a very, very bland and big professional summary. However, now, these are examples of people that don't really, entry-level candidates that don't really have experience. Let's say a stronger example will be, I'm an enthusiastic accounting professional with a solid academic background in financial accounting, taxation, auditing. I've completed coursework in cost accounting. I have practical exposure to accounts payable, receivable processes. Now, this one, we know you don't have experience, but we see from even the fact that you put enthusiastic accounting professional, you've grabbed the attention of the recruiter. So this is for those that don't really have experience and looking to break into the job market. So these are ways that you can structure your professional summary. Now, even for the experience session, one of the mistakes that I see on CVs is that people just list out their work duties, right? Just list out their work duties. For instance, let's say for a social manager position, you see things like I help manage social media accounts, I created content for clients, I assisted with advertising campaigns. It's really weak. It's really weak. Your job duties should be result focused. Let's say instead of saying I help manage social media accounts, you can say I manage content calendars for three clients, Instagram and LinkedIn accounts. So I achieved 100% on-time publishing rate. Instead of saying, oh, I created content for clients, you can say I grew a client's Instagram from 1,400 followers to 2,000 followers in 10 weeks. That's a stronger way. It really grabs the attention of the recruiter. Right. So please don't just list out what you did. Make it result focused. Right. So now, so for those that don't have experience and you're thinking, okay, I've not worked before, what can I put on my CV? I had that issue too when I was looking to break into the job market. So that's why I was looking for volunteering and internship opportunities. So yes, you might assume that you've never worked before and you don't have anything on your CV. There are things that you can still add on your CV. For example, during your NYC, what did you do? Can sort of add that on your CV. And I've given examples here. Let's say this is for maybe an accounting role. I don't like keep on using accounting role. You can put a finance volunteer. What did you do? You tracked income expenditure for 800,000 Naira community events. You prepared post-event financial summaries and all of that. You reconciled daily cash collections for 5 teams. You can also include your academic projects if you don't have experience. This is for if you don't have experience and you're just looking to close that gap in your CV. You can include what you did during your project. It's at least you can do research. For some entry levels, research is required. Is an added value as well. So you can put that. Maybe researched on small SMEs growth. You presented to 6 academic reviewers. At least it shows that you have some presentation skills. right? And you produce 1,000 word report covering analysis and policy record. These are just examples of what you can add. And then, like I said, if you had leadership positions in school, you are a leader of a student body, you're the president, you're the secretary, whatever role you play, that can go into your CV. It demonstrates leadership skills. There's also a very good way of demonstrating leadership skills. These are some of things that you can add. This you don't have experience and you think that, okay, I don't know what's that. Then you can start looking for volunteering and internship opportunities. So just to close that experience gap. Professional certifications. So like I said, take trainings. If you don't have money to go for expensive training, there are free trainings on Coursera. There are free trainings on Udemy. There are free trainings on Microsoft Learning. There are free trainings. You can take those, finish them, and put them on your CV, right? And then join your professional body. Start with the student membership. Just start. So these things are important. These are things that for an entry-level CV, these things stand you out. Even if not even just for an entry-level CV, but even for a mid-level CV, these things stand you out. All right. So yes, I think we've talked a bit about tailoring your CV and your job application. Read the job description carefully. Don't just apply randomly, please. Read the job description, know if it fits, and you can tailor your CV in that regard. Apply only where your skills and your experience align. There's no point just wasting your time applying for 50 roles, hoping that one of them will click, and you're praying for favor from God. God, that's not how favor works. But even God will not answer that prayer because it's not fair. You're also creating problem for the hiring manager. Just apply where you meet the requirements. Customize your CV as well. Don't use a customer service CV to apply for a software engineering position. Don't use an accounting CV to apply for a HR position. Tailor your CV and job application. So those are important. Now let's talk about interview mastery. Hiring is about competence and attitude. Please prepare for both. Interviews. There are different types of interviews. It's a telephone interview. So usually for telephone interviews, they just used to just shortlist candidates at first level stage, right? I don't think it's really common here. Then there's one-on-one interview. One-on-one interview can be virtual and it can be in person. I think these days, because of COVID, more interviews are now virtual. Then you have panel interview. Panel interviews are where there are several interviewers that are going to interview you at once. The interview panel can be made up of the HR person, a member of the department, maybe the head of the department, the MD. It just comprises of different people within each position and each department, right? Maybe one person is going to evaluate your culture fit. The other person is going to evaluate your technical fit, your attitude, and all of that. So it can also be virtual. It can also be in person. I think these days, like I said, it's more common. Virtual interviews are more. Then there's group interviews. Now, group interviews are where there are multiple candidates that interview together. And I've attended one myself where maybe at the final stage, there are like 5 people that make it to the final stage of the interview process. And then you just interview them all out. So you ask them questions one after the other. You can ask question and then open the floor for the candidates to respond. And then at the end of the interview, assess the best candidates. Then there are behavioral interviews as well. It focuses on your past experience. So you hear things like, tell me about a time you handled conflict. Tell me about a time you did this. Tell me about a time you did that. There are competency-based interviews as well. They're still sort of similar to behavioral interview. So competency-based interview mostly tests your specific skills, leadership, teamwork, some technical skills. We also hear questions like, tell me about a time you did this. Tell me about a time you did this. Tell me about a time you did that. All right, now let's talk about interview. Please, I want to advise if you are being shortlisted for an interview and already dreaming about the salary, already dreaming about yourself on the job. That's one of the things that cause heartbreak when you receive a rejection letter. So if one person I dream about the money paid and all of that,
might not really help you. Now, things you have to focus on for the interview, during the interview, and after the interview. Now, before the interview, please, you cannot attend an interview and not know what the company does. You cannot, especially for mid-size level and small level organization. Because yes, you might know what your KPMG does, you might know what your PwC, you might not really ask those questions because yes, they're multinational and they expect that, oh yes, you have a good brand as well. You already have a good brand, everybody knows what you do. You're being interviewed for maybe by mid-size organization, small-size organization. You need to know what they do because this question often comes up in interview. What do you know about us? So please, before the interview, you need to carry out your research. You know what the company does. At basic level, just know what, go to the about session and know what it costs. 80% or 70% of the time, this question will come up, especially if you're being interviewed by a mid-size or small-size organization. Now, I also advise that you carry out a research on the people that might be interviewing you. This just helps, I think it helps with interview anxiety. Try and put a face on people that are going to be interviewing you. And most often than not, they will include a member of the HR team, right? It will include hiring the head of the department. Maybe if you're being interviewed for data analyst role, maybe to include one of the head of department for the data analysis department in that organization. For smaller organization, your CEO, your MD might be part of the interview at the final stage, right? I don't think these days companies have multiple level interview, at least 2 level. The first, maybe with the HR manager and the head of department. The second, maybe with your CEO and other top executives. Please know who, and come on, and these people are on LinkedIn, so you can find them on LinkedIn. They're on LinkedIn. So just try and put a face to people that are going to interview. It helps with the anxiety, helps manage the anxiety. And then please study the job description. This can help, right? Sometimes you can even anticipate questions that you'll be asked from the job description. And now there's even AI. You can put that job description on AI and ask AI to please, look at the job description and then please come up with potential interview questions that will be asked based on this job description. AI can help you do that. So take advantage of AI. Study the job description, anticipate questions in that regard. And then I would advise that you cram answers from the internet. Honestly, when it comes to interviews, employers can tell when your answer is sincere, is genuine, than when you're just giving some generic crammed answer from the internet. And they will always prefer a genuine answer, honestly, right? So I won't expect that. So look, anticipate questions. We'll still talk about some of the common interview questions, and then you can come up with questions from the job description. Look at the requirements. Sometimes some questions that they will ask you, they will mirror the JD and the requirements that were posted for that job vacancy. Then before your interview, so please go through your CV. I've said before, don't let any question from your CV take you unaware. It's a red flag. You're being asked a question. Oh, you said you did this during your NYC, and you're being asked that question, and then you cannot defend it. It's a red flag. Some people will optimize their CV to the extent that it now becomes what I ordered versus what I got. Don't do that. Don't put things on your CV that you know you can defend. So you can defend your CV. It's really a red flag when you ask questions and you don't know how to answer the question. But it's you that wrote this on your CV. So how come? Is it that why? How come you cannot defend it? So go through your CV, review your CV, know how to answer every question that comes up from your CV. Then practice likely interview questions. There's some common interview questions that you ask. We'll talk about that. And then test your device. Now, yes, we say these things and you think that everybody knows these things, but during interview, you see that, okay, that's the time where your microphone is not working, you will now have problem with your camera. So please, if you're being invited they send you the interview link, just test the device, right? Be sure that your microphone is working, so that everything is on point. And so nothing is taking you by surprise. And then if you're scheduled for a particular time, maybe 9 a.m., try to be at the waiting room. Let's say maybe 3 minutes or 4 minutes, 5 minutes before the scheduled time. Now, even if maybe there's some delay from the company's end with respect to, granting you access, maybe you're waiting in the lobby and there's a delay, let it be from their end. Let the unprofessionalism be from their end. But please, if you're scheduled for a time for 9 a.m. and then at 9 a.m., the hiring manager, the recruiter is waiting on the call to let you in, and you know where to be found. It's a red flag. It's unprofessional. It shows unprofessionalism. And even in those sort of scenarios, maybe there's a network lag and all of that. When you join in, apologize. So these are things that kind of gives a positive impression of you for the interview and the hiring manager. Now, during the interview, it's really important that you look the part. We say these things, but you'll be surprised that even with the amount of information that goes on how you're supposed to really look the part, appear professional, appear likable. We'll interview candidates and we'll see that their button is open, their hair scattered, there's just their background is just noisy and all of that. Now I say during interviews, it's really important that you're likable, right? And it's really important that you just look at least when they see you, there's usually that first impression. They've come up, there's already a first impression they have of you. Make sure it's a positive first impression. Smile. A lot of times, there are candidates that are being hired not because they answer the questions that are being asked during the interview excellently well. Sometimes they might have answered the questions excellently well, but the other candidate was hired because of maybe their mannerisms, their positive, how they smile, how they're bubbly, they have a bubbly attitude and all of that. So it's really important that you're likable during interviews. It's really important. So yes, appear professional, right? Such that when your camera turns on, you are pleasing to the interviewers. Now, interview nerves. Anxiety is normal. Have anxiety when you get an interview invite. It's really normal, right? And the truth is that even for recruiters or even for hiring managers, when they are being invited for an interview, they have that anxiety. It's normal. Everybody has anxiety. But you have to be able to manage your anxiety. So I usually advise that, let's say you're in the waiting room and you're waiting to be let in. Most of the interviews, they are virtual. So I'm using the virtual interview as an example. You're in the waiting room and your heart is beating and you're waiting to be let in. Maybe you're in the lobby and you're waiting to be let in. Breathe in and breathe out. Keep on breathing in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. So it helps. Breathe in and breathe out. That actually helps. And then eventually, when you are let in the interview, your anxiety increases. Now, when you're being asked a question, right, you always have to respond immediately. It's fine. You don't fall into the temptation of just responding immediately. You can actually take the time to articulate your thoughts. You can take the time to think about your questions in your head before you answer. Now, I also advise that usually 90% of the time, the first interview question will be, let's get to meet you. Can we know you? Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your skills, how you relate to this work, this job role. Let's get to meet you. Please always have an answer ready for that question. 95% of the time, that is usually the question that we ask first. Maybe when the interview moderator has introduced the members of the interview panel, and then you're now required to introduce yourself. 95% of the time, that's the first question that is going to be asked. So please always have an answer ready. That one, practice that answer, practice the answer, practice the answer. But what I realized that during interviews, when you start out confidently, there's a tendency to finish confidently. When you start out confidently, you notice that for the second question, you might not be very nervous. Then you'd be able to calm your nerves. So please always have an answer ready for that question. Have an answer ready. Practice, practice, practice. Let's say for an entry level role, talk about your name. You graduated from so and so. Talk about your skills, maybe trainings you've done, taking place, how you can add value to the company. For a more experienced role, you can just talk about your name or your degree, talk about your experience, and at the same time, what value you're looking to bring to the organization, why you're looking to join the organization. Right, so yes, anxiety is normal. You'll be anxious. Embrace it. Just know how to manage the nervousness. And then body language is really important. Body language is very, very important. Your tone, your facial expressions when you're answering questions, right? There was an interview invite. There was an interview carrying out for an entry level position, a graduate position. There was a lady that they were interviewing. Yes, they were asking her questions. There was this expression on her face. It was giving disgust, and she was disgusted by the questions that she was being asked. Of course, we can see it on her. We can tell on her face, right? And honestly, that was a red flag for the hiring manager. In his mind, he's going to say, this one does not have a good attitude. Though. I don't want anybody that will come in my team and give me wahala. Please. So please watch your facial expression. Be conscious of your facial. Keep a smiley face. Manage your body tone. When you're being asked a question, even if you don't know how to answer the question, don't give an irritable look. Don't look irritable. Don't give a disgust look. And there's also a thin line between being confident and being overconfident. When you're overconfident, you can come off as being aggressive. So just manage that. Like I said, it's really important that you're likable during an interview. The people who get hired are not always people who answer the questions, every question excellently well. They're not always the people. Then listen carefully. Listen, and if you're being asked a question and you don't understand it, it's okay. You can ask, please, sir, please, can you come again with your question? It's fine. You can ask, get clarity on the question, listen before speaking. You don't always have to rush to speak, like I said before. Take time, articulate your response in your head before answering the questions. And then after your interview, now there's the temptation of you're going through the interview on your head and you're thinking about the questions that you got right, the ones that you didn't answer well, and then you now want to feel bad, you want to feel sad because you're thinking, I should have answered this question better. Blabbed. These people, I really rumbled. It's fine. It's really fine. Right? So what I advise is that after the interview, you take our time, write out all the questions that you're being asked. And for the ones that you feel you did not answer well or you did not answer confidently enough, take our time and come up with a better answers to those questions. You'll be invited for another interview. And during that interview, you will do better. So the thing about interviews is that the more interview you attend, the more confident you are, right? The more confident you are, the more you're able to manage your nerves better. So it's fine. So even if the interview did not go as well as you anticipated it to go, it's okay. Don't beat yourself about it. Take time, reflect, come up, write down the questions, think about how you could have structured your questions, your answers better, such that in the next interview, you are able to answer better. Now, I also hear people say, okay, please send a thank you note to the interviewer or to the company after the interview. It's optional. The truth is that, let me tell you the truth, whether you send thank you note or whether I don't send thank you note, it don't really make a difference. If after the interview, they've evaluated you and they see that you are suitable for the job role, they will get back in touch with you with or without your thank you. They will get back in touch with you, right? So me, I just advise after an interview, it's okay to sign a thank you note, but we move on. Just my mantra is on to the next one. If I get feedback from the company, that's fine. If I don't get feedback, that's fine. Honestly, the sad truth or the hard truth is that no company owes you anything. No company owes us anything. That's what they don't owe you anything. They are looking out for the best candidate for them. The same way you're looking to work for the best company, then they're looking out for the best candidates. So if you like, get back in touch with me. As much as I like to get feedback, if I don't get a feedback, that's fine. I'll take my learning lessons and move on to the next interview. Right. Then that's that. Now, so these are some common interview questions. I've said, tell me about yourself. 95% of the time, that question comes up. So please have an answer ready for that question. Don't cram. I won't advise that you cram questions on the internet. I won't really advise it. I won't advise it because even when you cram, when it's time to respond, you might not forget what you crammed and might not start blabbing. Right. Then questions such as, what do you know about this company comes up? Questions such as, why do you want to work here? You have genuine reasons of why you want to work there. Maybe you like the company's values. Maybe go to their website, search, come up with a reason why you want to work there. Why should we hire you? What sets you apart? We're interviewing there are a lot of people that are also interviewing for this role. Why should you be the person we hire? This is where you sell yourself. Don't make it look like you know everything. I also advise that make it look like, even if you know everything, that you are still willing to learn and although you can give an example, like maybe although you have the skills knowledge and experience required to carry out this job role. You're someone who is proactive, you're someone who is a problem solver, you take initiative. Just want to see the genuinity, just want to see how genuine are your response. Right? So prepare for these. So how do you prioritize tasks under multiple deadlines? So these are some questions for maybe entry-level positions, people that don't have experience. Questions such as, how do you prioritize tasks under multiple deadlines might come up. So what would you do if you disagree with a manager's instruction? What are your areas of improvement? I don't know what your areas of improvement. You have to do a self-evaluation, know what your areas of improvement are. There was an interview that we were carrying out, and it was a final stage interview. It was a graduate training position. Andy was on the call, and there was a lady that was being interviewed. You could tell that from her responses that even though she didn't really have practical experience, she was willing to learn. And then when Andy asked her, okay, what would you say are your areas of improvement? Now, she said one of her areas of improvement is that she needs to be more confident. And honestly, we could relate to her response because during the interviews, during the interview process, when she was answering the question, you can see that she wasn't really confident. And then when she now said she highlighted that as an area of improvement, confidence, it showed awareness, and it really showed awareness. I think that was one of the reasons MD decided to go ahead with her. So please be genuine in your responses, but please don't come up with responses, don't come up with weaknesses that will put the company at a disadvantage, right? Maybe if you say things like, I don't work well with people, I like to work alone, that is such a red flag. Please don't come up with a response like that. Come up with genuine responses, but make sure that their responses that don't put you at a disadvantage. I don't know if that's understood. Another question is, okay, where do you see yourself in 3 years? This question usually comes. These are some of the common interview questions. And then there's something we call the STAR method. And when you're being asked behavioral or competency-based interview question, there's a framework that you can use and answer that question. It's called STAR. The S stands for situation. What's the context? This is when you're answering the question. For example, tell me about your time led a project. You talk about the situation. Let's say, during my undergraduate, when I was in school, we had the project defense, blah, blah, blah. We're required to carry out the presentation. So that's the situation. What's the task? We're required to carry out a presentation and present to the heads of department and blah, blah, blah. Now, what was your specific responsibility? Talk about your responsibility. I took up the position as the project leader. I took up the position as the group leader. Now, what specific action did you take? What did you do? Right? What did you do? I was able to distribute responsibilities amongst team members. This just shows your leadership, speaks your leadership skills. I was able to distribute share responsibilities amongst the team members. Now, what was the result of what? At the end of the day, carried out our presentation successfully, received very positive feedback, and all of that. So this is just a framework on what you can use to answer questions when behavioral and competency-based questions come up. The STAR framework: the situation, task, the action, and the results. All right. So yes, what's the time? So yeah. So these are the key takeaways. So please, your degree can open doors, but your skills keep you. Your skills are very important. Academic qualification matter, but continuous skill building sets you apart. Please tailor every CV and job application. Don't apply randomly. Don't just apply randomly to any job. And I was just to also add, so when you're sending the job application, right, and obviously, if you're required maybe to send your CV to an email address, when you send your CV, please don't leave the body of the email blank. Put up a short application in the body of the email. Use the job title as the head of the email address. For example, social media intern, use it as the head of the email address. Don't just attach your CV. And please, if they've asked you to attach your CV, don't apply using Google Documents. Don't send link. Attach your CV in PDF formats. Don't send a link to them. A lot of times, you can just go to the next CV. You send Google link. Don't send Google Drive link. That they should use the Google Drive and go and open the link and go and check your CV. So please tailor your CV tailor every job application, read the job requirements, read the job role, and if you're lagging in one skill area, be intentional about building skill in that area. Now, interview success comes from preparation and practice. The more you practice, the more interviews you attend, the more confident and better you will become. Now, please develop skills continuously. The job market is rapidly changing. What you know before might not be the same thing. The knowledge that you had before that brought you success might not be the same knowledge that will bring you success in the future. So that's why you should have an appetite for learning, upskilling, right? So we said yes, apply strategically, not random. And then let's say you get invited for an interview and you get a rejection email. It's fine, it's not the end of the world. It's okay to feel bad, but please don't dwell on the sadness, just move on. Rejection is part of the process. Right now, all right. So yes, thank you very much. What's the time? I hope I kept the time. We have come to the end of presentation. So so action point for you. So what's the one skill you commit to building this month? And then what section of your CV is the improvement? So that's for you to answer. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. If you've got questions, please hit me with your questions. Can you guys hear me? Are you guys hear me?
Wow. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think
I'll take a few questions.
Yeah.
Please hit me real quick.
Okay, so Faith Robert and Emanuela has a question. I think Emanuela had a hand raised first. So Emanuela, you can shoot. And after you, Faith will go.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me, please?
Yeah, clearly.
Okay, so
Yeah,
thank you for this opportunity and the class. Although I joined a bit late due to personal reasons, I really want to ask a question. During interviews, when they ask you what are your salary expectations, what's the humble response to give? Do you just offer state what your salary expectations are and give reasons why you have that expectations, or you just put it out there and let them go with it? I don't know, what's the perception from how you give that answer? Thank you.
All right. Okay. So this is what I'll advise. There's no right or wrong answer to this question, right? So now it depends. It depends on your level. So first of all, carry out a research on that company. If you carry out a research, so if you check Glassdoor reviews and you check, that sometimes people put out salary ranges for a particular position because they have an idea. Now, so it depends on your level. If you're being interviewed for an entry-level position and they ask you what's your salary expectation, and you say something that is ridiculous, maybe you don't have experience. They are saying you want 1 million naira as your salary expectation. It's very ridiculous, right? You don't have experience. I would say you can give a range and you say you're open to negotiation. Give a range, give a reasonable range, and tell them you're open to negotiation. However, if you're an entry-level person, you don't know what value you bring in. That's the truth. You don't know what but if you're a more experienced person and you're confident that this is what you want this is what you want as your salary expectation, make it open, give a range from so and so, maybe from 500,000 to 600,000, and tell them you're open to negotiation. Now it's now them to get back to you, and then you can now bargain. We will send you an offer, and they will put the offer, the amount they're willing to give you. If you're not comfortable with that amount, you send them an email, say based on so and so, the skills you bring in, please you appreciate if the salary can be increased to so and so. Trust me, if they see value, they will increase it. Our advice, if you're an entry-level candidate, please don't come up with ridiculous amounts if you don't really have experience. It's also a red flag. It's a turn off. Just have a range and tell them you're open to negotiate. But I really don't write a wrong answer though.
Thank you.
Emanuela, you're good, right?
Yes, I am. Thank you. I'm really satisfied with the answer. Thank you so much. God bless.
Okay, fantastic. Awesome. All right, Faith, you can go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Ma, for the eye opener. So my question, okay, I have I think two questions. So the first one is, you talked about how the CV should look like, and I just want to ask, these days, from what I have seen, some will tell you your CV should be one page or one or 2 pages or maybe one and a half safe. And then you're looking at what you have to show and you're thinking, how do I squeeze all of this into one page? And then you talked about soft skill, technical skill, and what's the other skill you mentioned? So I just want to ask, is there a particular way to arrange it to look okay to these people that are employing, or is there a way to arrange these skills maybe in one section? You like, do we have to separate it, soft skills, analytical skills, technical skills, and stuff like that, or can we just add everything together so it will fit? Because
No, please
because I've seen a lot in all these job
no.
search and job applications. And then my second question,
Okay.
you talked about when we're asked to introduce ourselves. I think I didn't really hear the way you broke that down. So if you don't mind, please, can you just go over that again? Like you said, we should talk about our names, the skills we bring, how we can improve, sorry, contribute to the company. And then there's one other thing you mentioned. I didn't get that part, sorry. And I think I have another question. Okay, yes. So maybe this should be like after, but I'm just curious. Since you're in the HR business already, do we have the privilege of showing what our CVs look like so you can give it a go ahead, or maybe we should fix this or fix that, because it is
You
frustrating,
have your
really.
CV. Yeah, I
So
can help
yeah.
you do your CV. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, all right.
No,
Those are my
I'm just
questions.
going to give feedback, or I'm not going to rewrite your
Yeah,
CV
sure,
for you.
definitely. Of course,
All right, so let me just
feedback.
answer the question on CV. Now, the reason why they say that if you're an entry-level candidate, your CV should not go beyond 1 page is because what exactly are you putting on your CV? Right? A lot of people just put unnecessary, irrelevant information that don't add value to the company. And then they just increase the pages on their CV. But the truth is, if the information you're putting on your CV is relevant to the job position, at most 2 pages, at most, as long as, to be honest, for entry level positions, one page is okay. But if additional information you're putting, if it's relevant to the job role, yes, it's okay if it's 2 pages, as long as it is relevant to, don't be putting your local government, what you did, your secondary school, very irrelevant information that just takes up space on your CV and don't add any value. But that's where the problem is. When I talk about technical skills, soft skills, and digital skills, I was just speaking to the skills that are required to be employable these days. Now, after your professional summary on your CV, on the skill session, there should be a session for skills, right? Honestly, that session is really important. On that session, I said list out the hard skills that are relevant to the role you're applying. Don't list out communication. Let's say, for instance, sorry, please, what's your career path? What are you looking to pursue a career in? Or what are you currently doing?
Okay, you're asking me right now, or
Let me use my profession as an example.
okay,
Let me use
I can
as
answer
an
the
example.
question.
Okay, yes, fine, you can go ahead.
Okay, administration.
Pardon? Administration. Is that what you said?
Yes, ma. Yes.
Is that what you're looking to build a career in? You want to be an admin person. That's
Yeah.
fine. So you've written your professional summary. On the skill session, what are the skills that are relevant to an admin role, right? You need to have organizational skills. So you can really put organizational skills. What are some of the hard skills that are, let me check, hard skills that are relevant to an administration role? Coming. Maybe, for example, office administration and filing systems, database management, inventory and office supplies management. So those are some of the desktop operations, right? So I'm just speaking to an admin role. You need to know how to use Microsoft Office. So you can put that, data entry, record management. So these things can go in the skill session. That means you know these things. So these are the relevant technical skills that are important to this role. I don't know what you do, what else. I don't know. What do admin people do? But you get the idea. I don't know if you get the idea.
Yeah,
You
I
get the
understand what
idea.
you're saying. Yes,
Office
ma'am.
administration, filing system. So these are things that should go into the skill session. Right. So when the hiring manager sees it, they know that you have an idea on the practical skills required to carry out this role. Not that you're telling me you can do teamwork. Anybody can put teamwork, communication, leadership. Don't put all those things on the skill session. It's pointless. And then if, like I said, if as long as your CV, it can be 1 page, it can be 2 page, right? As long as the information is relevant to the job role. Like I said, the reason why you don't expect entry-level candidates to have CV beyond 1 page, because you are putting relevant information. You're telling me your hobby. What am I? Who hobby? References and requests. You don't need to put all those unnecessary information. They just increase your CV and they just don't add value. Now, your second question was about the tell me about you. Tell me about yourself. And the question can be worded in different ways. Let us get to meet you. Tell us about yourself. There's no right or wrong answer. Just don't say my name is, I'm from a family of, I'm the second born in my family. These are very, very important responses. Now you can say, all right, Sophie, you have your hand raised up, or you the one who asked the question. So you
Yeah, I
can
just
unmute and
thought of another question again. So when you're done answering this one, I'll just ask the next one. Sorry.
all right, that's fine. Okay, so you said you can say your name. My name is Susan, so I'm a BSc graduate of sociology. I have a master's. But if you don't have experience, you can say, okay, I'm really enthusiastic about pursuing a role in Susan. So now you said the reason why you're enthusiastic about pursuing that job. I'm enthusiastic about building a career in. This is for people that don't really have experience. So I'm looking to like introduce themselves. I'm enthusiastic about pursuing a career because so and so, so and so. Let me use my own profession for example. I'm really enthusiastic. The reason why I chose HR as a profession is because I just give you a reason. Then you can talk about skills you bring in. I'm someone who is very proactive. I'm someone who is always willing to learn. I'm someone who is very teachable. Right. So these are skills I can bring in and add value. I'm someone who's looking to add value. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to see the sincerity and genuinity in your response. Then for an experience level, an experience position, yes, talk about your name, your degree. Give a snapshot of what you've done in the past. I have over so and so experience. I have over 4 years experience in the HR profession. My experience have covered, during my experience, I worked on this, I've worked on that, I've worked on this, I've worked on that. If you're pursuing any certification, talk about certification you're pursuing, right? And then what skills you're looking to add, and what skills personally you can say you can bring in. For example, I'm someone who is very proactive and I take initiative when it comes to tasks and responsibilities. I don't wait until what to do. You can add that. For an entry-level position, if you're probably undergoing any training, you can also add that in your introduction. There's no right or wrong answer. Is that fine? Just keep on practicing your introduction. You can tell ChatGPT to help fine-tune it for you. Right? But don't farm, just practice and get confident with it. There's no right or wrong answer, honestly. Talk about your name, your education. You don't have experience, like why are you enthusiastic about this career path? You're carrying relevant trainings, talk about the trainings. If you talk about personal achievements and skills. All right, so what was the next question, please?
Okay, so the next question is, in a case where they ask you, they give a case study rather, and they tell you what would you do in a case like this? Is it as a HR personnel now, asking you directly, sorry, would you want to hear the person's honest answer or an answer that will favor the company? Because some people might choose to be honest and you realize, oh, this person's honest answer will
Hi.
not yield profit to my company, so I'm not hiring the person. So if you were the person interviewing that person, who would you pick? The honest person or the person that just wants to do what to favor your company for profit purposes? And then secondly, would you hire someone who is currently in the process of getting a skill that is relevant to what they're applying for? Because you said even if we don't qualify 100%, we can just go ahead and shoot our shot. So I am currently studying and getting this skill, but I'm not done yet. I'm in the process, and I apply for the job. And there's someone else that already has finished and they have that skill already. Who would you prefer, in as much as maybe they have different areas of strength that are also relevant to that particular job? So is it safe for me to still go ahead and apply, seeing that I am not done with that skill yet? I'm still in the process.
For your second question, it depends, right? If you're not done, you can put in view. It's okay, fine. If you meet other requirements, why? There are some people that maybe they are still in process of getting their professional certification. They're still in that process and they put in view. As long as, yes, you're in that process, you're taking the time to learn, then that's completely fine. Yes, I can consider you. But if I put you side by side with someone that has, gotten that skill and everything, but that's not just the criteria I'll use to there will be other criteria. Then I'll then evaluate and see. It's not cast in stone, but if you're still in the process of pursuing a skill, please put it on your CV. Then you can put in view in brackets. It's also a good way. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. Now it depends on other criteria as to how you're able to sell yourself and what are things, your aptitude, your professional skills, your attitude, your professionalism, your soft skills. Those are things that we evaluate alongside with the other candidate that has finished developing that skill. Right. So sometimes, like I said, it's not the perfect candidate that gets hired. It's not the best candidate. Sometimes the most suitable candidate that gets hired. And different things that can determine suitability. There are different things that can actually determine suitability. So for your first question, what was the question before this one? What was the question you asked before the last one? Sorry.
Okay, I asked if we're given a case study now, and the case study involves the person telling you their honest answer, or you want to hear something that will benefit your company for profit purposes, which would you want to hear the person say? Or maybe there are two candidates, and the one goes ahead to give you their honest answer. The other goes ahead to give you an answer that they feel you would appreciate because you just want to make profits. So which would you go for? Or let me give an example.
Yes,
The one that I just recently was involved in. So I was asked if I'm asked to choose what's best for me or what's best for my team, what will I go for? I was really conflicted in giving an answer because, honestly speaking, me first though, but I was also thinking, if I tell these people me first, they'll think I'm selfish. So what do I want them to hear to get hired? So should I just tell them, okay, team, so that they'll be happy? Or should I tell them my honest answer, me first? So I was not trying to look for how to marry the both options and give them something that favors both me and the team. So I don't know. As a HR personnel, which would you prefer?
Honestly, I would say, as much as you want to be honest, right? Don't give an answer that puts you at a disadvantage. That's what I would say. You're looking to get a job. Don't give an answer. You want to get the job, yes. Because there's still some level of bias that goes into interviews. Interviewers, some level of bias. They can just like you because of how you smile. Don't give an answer that puts you at a disadvantage. So in questions like that, I would say find a balance. You will say, you can say yes, you look forward to the interest of the team, or don't make it 100% in a way that, okay, it's just about you. I think you should try to understand what they are testing. They're testing your ability to work in a team. They're testing your ability to lead a team. Try to understand. And when you're giving a response, find a balance. I don't know how to best answer that question, but I'll say find a balance. Just find a balance on how you can, such that you're not tilting 100% to yourself and you're not tilting 100% to, the team, such that you're now neglecting yourself. You're answering the question. You also have to be wise. You have to be wise. Don't answer it in such a way that will put you at disadvantage. Don't now say, I'm going to look out for what benefits me. So now means you don't care about your team members. Even if ideally, yes, truly, maybe in real sense of it, you prioritize what benefits, but don't say that in an interview. because they are checking. They are checking. Are you someone who works in a team, works well in a team? So just use wisdom. I don't know how to just use your wisdom and
Okay, so in
try.
summary, we should not give them 100% honesty. we should
So,
try to be
to be
widely
honest,
honest.
don't say something that will put you at a disadvantage. Say
Okay.
something that will put
All
you at a
right.
disadvantage.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, please, do you have any other question?
None for now. Thank you very much.
All right. See.
Okay. Wait. Emanuela, is this the former hand, like or did you just raise this up?
I just raised one.
Oh, you have a question.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I think this would actually be the last question because we've actually gone beyond the time schedule for the training. So you shoot, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And also thank you, Ma, for answering my previous question. I also have another question. I'm really sorry if I'm bombarding you with questions. It's just an opportunity to speak to you today. So my question goes, I will just like state my current predicament. I'm a law graduate. I'm going for NYC. I got my follow-up number, so I'm going by June 10th. So I've heard some tales, and I'm really not in the mood for Nigeria to happen to me. So I've seen some things online. So I'm trying to code mail and try to get a request letter from any firm before I go to camp and apply. So my current dilemma is like I'm confused as when I research this company, I didn't know who or how to like get their emails or who in particular I should send this my request to and tell them or code me. Someone just told me code me, but like I don't really get the concept of it. Like I'm really confused as to how to go about it. I don't know if you have an idea on how to, like you said on LinkedIn optimization. I'm on LinkedIn and I learned that positioning myself for opportunities could also help me. But now I have this information, but my current problem is access because I would see a lot of people, a lot of partners in the organization, but I don't know who exactly I am emailing or who would best respond to me. And I don't see the tagline for HR or anything. I really don't know. I'm just confused as to ask about it. So I just want to ask for an advice on it. Thank you.
Right. So I completely understand. So most times when it comes to contact information of companies, you just put their generic email info at so and so and so. You're likely not going to get a response from those generic emails. So now if you don't know anybody that knows anybody, maybe you're not on professional WhatsApp group that you can say, please, do you know anybody that works in this company? I would still say LinkedIn is your best bet. For these companies, let's say I'm looking to come up with a list of companies. I want to shoot my shot at a what name? Maybe a VDF group. I search VDF group on LinkedIn. I go to people, I see the people, I see there's a good shot at somebody that's maybe in their HR department, but at decision making level in their HR department, maybe the HR manager, there's a good shot. You can send them an email. Send them, sorry, not an email, a message on LinkedIn. Right. And then another one is maybe for a particular department, do you have clarity on what career you're looking to pursue? Maybe I'm looking to maybe a data analyst or something. I go to that company's page, I look at the people that are working in that company. They will usually when you check the profile of the person, you will see when you go to their job experience section, you will see they'll put their position and the company. So you can tell from the title, you can tell if they are someone who is at decision-making stage. Maybe the head of that department, data analyst manager at VDF group, right? So you know that this person at least sort of has like a level of decision making. So what happens is that maybe if you reach out to them and they can respond to you, it might even be possible they're looking for someone in their team. And then they will now send your CV to the HR in the organization. So I'll say LinkedIn is your best bet. If you're on professional WhatsApp group, I'll say, okay, that's like an easier way. But we won't have this happen in my company too. Like we've had few people though, reach out to the MD, and then MD send their CV to the HR department. You can even shoot your shot to the MD. This is for smaller and mid-sized companies. if you are shooting your shot at the MD of Big Fours and not get response on LinkedIn. So make a list of the companies. When you search for the company, go to the people. You know, there's jobs, there's people, there's about, go to the people and you see the people that are working in that company. So look out for maybe their HR manager. Send them an email. Good afternoon, ma. I'm a graduate of so and so. I'm graduate of so and so. This man, I'm writing. You can write to find out if there are opportunities to enter in your. I've had people reach out to me as well. If there are opportunities to carry out my NYC and talk about what you can do for them too. What skills you are looking to bring. That will catch their attention more. Not that you're just looking for favor. What can you also do? Just come up with something. Might reach out to one or two people, you will not get response. Three people will not get response, but don't give up. Just keep on reaching out. Honestly, there's no magic to it. There's really no magic to it. So if you don't know anybody, you don't have the connection, I'll still say LinkedIn is your best bet. A lot of professionals are on LinkedIn. I think that helps.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. So, you also talked about tailoring our CVs to fit into the role we're applying for. So, since I'm coordinating, and also I wanted to see as if I can key into that offer of sending you my CV to like give a feedback and to know what is relevant and not relevant to the content in the
Yes.
CV. And also, there are some apps that like help with generating CV when you input the information you're into. I don't know, like, do companies favor all these colored design format of
Those
CV,
things
or
are
they just
so
go with
those things are
regular?
distracting. They're very distracting. Colors, your picture, they're completely irrelevant. As long as your CV looks clean, professional, well structured, well organized, all those color things, they don't make any difference, honestly. They're pointless. Your picture doesn't make any relevance.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
Wow. Thank you so much, Wendy. In case you guys don't know, I mean that's a nickname, like more like a short form of saying Chinwendu, right? Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you for the knowledge passed. I mean, trust me, I also picked a lot of things, and I like the fact that even there were some things that you mentioned that we've been talking about before now, and I'm like, wow, fantastic. I mean, Faith could relate to that, LinkedIn and all of those things. They were really powerful. What I was really hoping before was that I'll be able to like just reiterate most of the things that you've said. But yeah, we don't have the time anymore. But one thing I would really love to say is thank you. Like, thank you. Our community cannot pay you right now, but yeah, we thank you for the sacrifice. Trust me, we do appreciate you. And everybody, please, if you want to unmute, just say thank you to Wendy. Everything she has passed today is really powerful, and I really hope that.
Thank you so much, Ma. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Ma. God bless you.
Fantastic.
Welcome.
So if you have
What a
picked
privilege.
so what I really appreciate again is that everything that you've learned today, you actually put them into practice, because it's actually not easy to facilitate a training, to speak, to tell you things and all of that, and how you can actually appreciate the person, especially if they've given so much sacrifice into that, is to make sure you put those things in practice, so that by the time you're meeting them, maybe in 6 months or in 8 months, you're able to say that, oh, that training what you taught us then, I put it into practice and it has really helped me, right? So thank you once again, Wendy. And my guys were actually putting some things forward, but no, I said that in my mind, I'm like, I'll not set my other up. So that one is a discussion I can just drop in your DM. And then one more thing that someone said was like, oh, can we have a mock interview while on the car? I said, nah, she has a blocker. She has something else she needs to attend to, right? So, but yeah, if it's something we can do much later, yeah, we can actually consider that. So thank you very much. And this actually brings us to the end of the training. If anyone has anything to say, please unmute and speak, maybe to Wendy especially. I have faith. Okay, so someone should just
actually consider that mock interview in the future. It's necessary.
All right, someone should just unmute and say something to Wendy.
Firstly,
I Miss Wendy. Good.
And Wendy herself, like you said, we are really appreciative of this opportunity. And we do not take it for granted. And also the fact that it was free is something so value packed. I do not take it for granted. And I hope to meet up to tell you guys that how this has been affected my life. Thank you, Mora, Senior, and to all, every person who thought about this and put this forward. I am super grateful. And to this guest speaker, thank you so much. I'm really grateful and appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you, Manuela. Then Anthony, then we just close the meeting. Anthony, you wanted to speak before?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to appreciate Miss Wendy, just as you said, community isn't paying her, but at least the little appreciation is is the least we can do. So I just want to thank her for everything, for information passed, sharing her experience and all of that. It's really, really appreciated. Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. If you probably need maybe some level of HR service, HR related services, maybe as whatever has to do with maybe like optimizing your CV. I'm not sure she. Okay, I'll just put up if she has package for mentorship for CV related services or anything related to that. I'll just drop it in the community after the meeting. I would have a chat with her and drop it in the community so that if you want to relate with her directly and be mentored directly by her, you can just easily do that. And those people that already said they wanted to send out their CV to her, yes. All right. Yeah, great. No problem. So, all right. So, guys, this brings us to the end of the training. Thank you so much and have a lovely evening. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Right. So for those that I think it was Emmanuel that wanted me to check out her CV. So you can please just share my number with her. So
And
just
me
share her
too.
CV.
And me. Me too.
No problem. Everything signify.
Or my
you send me
preferred
a
email
mail.
address. Which one? Okay, just share my number with them and I'll just like give them a quick review of their CV.
Okay.
All right, but please you bear with me. If I don't respond immediately, please.
It's okay.
All right,
I'm
guys.
patient.
All right.
Thank you so much.
As a
All right,
matter of
cheers.
fact, that's only open to all the people on the call right now who have made the request. So yeah, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye, Shagun. Any other thing?
Yeah, that's
Bye.
all.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, bye.